It's the series finale between the Cubs and Crew. Brewers looking for the sweep. This Brewers-Cubs series on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Burger King. Mother's Day will be commemorated along with Giovanni Gallardo bobblehead day at the ballpark. Jeff Samardzija and Marco Estrada will close out the series between the Brewers and Cubs. Both hurlers would love to deliver a memorable Mother's Day gift, but for Marco, it would mean more for all the moms at the ballpark to see the Crew complete the sweep over the Cubs. Good afternoon and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I'm Telly Hughes. The Brewers have now won 10 straight over the Cubs here at Miller Park after yesterday's 8-2 win, and it was all about pitching and clutch hitting. Sean Markham was magnificent, pitching 7 innings of 3-hit, 1-run baseball, making it 4 straight quality starts for the starters. How about Edwin Maisonette coming up with the big blow for the Brewers with a grand slam 6 days after being called up from Nashville. He was 2 for 3, and he's back in the lineup. Jonathan Lucroy continues to swing a hot stick after Luke's 3 for 5 afternoon yesterday. The Crew's catcher is batting .341 for the season. Now we'll see if Marco Estrada can deliver a 5th consecutive quality start on a normal 5 days rest and lift the Crew to a 3-game sweep over Chicago. First pitch between the Brewers and Cubs is coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Beautiful weather in Milwaukee in honor of all the moms today, and all the ball players have some sort of pink on. Whether it's the pins, it's the shoes, it's the wristbands, using the pink bats today. Happy Mother's Day from Major League Baseball to all moms out there. We're keeping you close to our hearts. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Craig Kishon. Great to have you back here on the broadcast. Brewers going for the sweep against the Cubbies today, and what a perfect time to get hot when it comes to pitching right now for Milwaukee, especially what we've seen over the last 4 games and 3 victories.
Yeah, Ron Renicky said it. If this Brewer team wants to get back in this race, start playing some consistent baseball, given all the injuries to the position players, the starting rotation really has to start to step it up, and they certainly have. It started with Gallardo on Tuesday. Zach Greinke, a beauty, no runs in 8 innings on Wednesday. It just continues with Randy Wolf. 3 earned runs in the last 4 starts by the Brewers starting rotation. Sean Markham very good in yesterday's ball game. 1 earned run against the Chicago Cubs in 7 innings. It's all about managing the pitch count for these guys. They've been doing a bang-up job so far.
And now the Brewers ready to start those engines and keep them going right here. These are the numbers. The last 4 games, they have won 3. Their team ERA during that stretch, just 1. So we've been waiting for this to happen, and now it's finally starting to happen. And now they're going to give the ball to Marco Estrada here next. And a series sweep could be on tap for the Brewers. They're hoping to turn the trick for the first time all season. And wouldn't that send them off on the road in style? We have the first pitch coming up next from Miller Park. It was exciting at Miller Park back in 2006. Billy Hall with the game winner with his mom in the house here on Mother's Day, using the pink bat and really making pink bats famous. As we welcome you back to the broadcast, Craig Kishon, Bill Schroeder, Mark Concannon on the sidelines, and Major League Baseball helping raise awareness for breast cancer here on this Mother's Day. A lot of pink going to be worn by the players, and it is also Yovani Gallardo bobblehead day. Dale Swaim's been a part of all of this here at Miller Park. Now he's watching from the other dugout. First season as manager, I should say, with the Cubs. Here's his lineup as they try to avoid the sweep. Brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. David DeJesus, Campana, and Castro will be the first 3 we see in this lineup. LaHair red hot at first base. Soriano, Stewart, Soto, Barney, and the pitcher Jeff Samardzija here this afternoon.
Let's check out the Burger King scouting report on today's starting pitcher, Marco Estrada. He gave up a 5 spot in the 4th inning after retiring the first 9 of the game against the Reds. First start against the Cubs, he's had 5 relief appearances, and Giovanni Soto 3 at-bats against Marco Estrada in his career. That's the most of any Cub in the lineup today.
So Estrada on the mound. The Menards defense behind him today. A lot of changes in the lineup. Braun, Aoki, and Hardin at outfield. Ramirez, Masonette at short today. Brooks Conrad gets to start at second, and Taylor Green over at first. And Jonathan Lucroy is starting Marco Estrada behind the plate. And you couldn't ask for better conditions here on Mother's Day. The weather just a treat in itself. 65 and sunny, and a low wind. And we've got the roof partially closed to help the shadows across the pitcher's mound, and of course home plate as well. Adrian Johnson will be calling balls and strikes. He heads our umpiring crew here today. Gary Cedarstrom over at first base. He is the crew chief here this afternoon. Game 3 at Miller Park. Cubs and the Brewers, and Milwaukee has dominated this series over the last 10 games here at Miller Park. The Brewer crew have won all 10 and 11 of 12. And as Rock mentioned a few minutes ago, it's all started with Milwaukee's pitching getting them back on track over the last few days. So Marco Estrada ready for first pitch. And we are underway with a stride. David DeJesus, who had a big night on Friday night in helping the Cubs come back a couple of times against Milwaukee. That extra innings, and of course Milwaukee finally winning that game, and they've won the last 2. Hit that grand slam, and they could not keep him off the base paths once he entered late in the game.
Yeah, he did a heck of a job in the first game of this series, not just at the plate and on the bases, but out in right field. He took away some extra base hits. DeJesus did not start that game on Friday, but had a big day nonetheless. Certainly have to keep the leadoff hitter off the bases.
Crazy thing about his numbers, he had 4 RBIs coming into that game and 5 total on Friday night. So it was a season to be made here into one night. And here's a look back on the heroics, including the grand slam on the first pitch.
Yeah, that gave the Cubs a very short-lived lead. You know, and late in the ball game, taking away extra bases out there in right field. The guy can run. He's a guy that when he's playing well, he can do a lot of things to help you.
Down 2 strikes. Estrada called strike 3, and a good start for Marco Estrada out on the hill.
Well, he's got the 3 pitches working. That time to change up at 77 miles an hour right down at the knees, and that's what Marco has to do. And when he's had problems, it's usually been giving up home runs. He's given up 6 already this year in 24 innings, including 2 his last time out.
Estrada has given up 9 earned runs in his last 13 innings of work after throwing 5 innings and only giving up 1 earned run in his first start of the season against Colorado back on April 21st. And now he's set to face Tony Campana. 327 on the season. 2 for 5 in this series.
Yeah, first 3 in this Cubs lineup they all have pretty good speed. We're talking about DeJesus, Campana, probably the best of the base stealers, Tony Campana, and Starlin Castro. Those guys can run. This guy has been a spark plug for the Cubs so far this year.
With Campana batting second at 327, he's just ahead of Castro at 328, and then LaHare, the cleanup hitter, at 354. So these guys are getting on base. Once again, Estrada ahead in the count, 2 strikes. And that's a key for Estrada as he tries to set his rhythm here early this afternoon against the Cubs. Here's the 0-2. It's low.
Hey, remember Marco's last start against the Cincinnati Reds, 9 up, 9 down. Then he really had a problem in the 4th inning, giving up 5 runs. 2 of those 2 home runs in there, and then he settled down nicely. So it was one of those starts where you really couldn't wrap your arms around it, whether it was a good start or not.
Campana to Green, and there's 2 down quickly here in the Cubs' first inning. That'll bring up the young shortstop, Starlin Castro.
Interesting lineup for Ron Renicky. Here we are in the 2nd week in May, and who would have thought, leaving spring training, that the infield would look the way it does today. The only infielder that was on the opening day lineup, actually opening day roster, Aramis Ramirez.
My, how things can change. There's Ramirez there and Green over at first. Of course, Ricky Weeks out for a second consecutive day with a sore left hand. He got hit on Friday night, did not play in yesterday's game. And probably not available to hit today, although his legs are okay. So if they need him as a pinch hitter later, that's a possibility as Castro swings and misses. There's Ricky Weeks.
Well, if you ask Ricky, he'll tell you, I'm ready to go, coach. He's the guy that doesn't like to sit around too much, but if you have a game like Friday, you might see him in the lineup.
One on Castro. Here's Ricky Weeks going back to Friday when he got hit twice. That was the first time, and the second time much more painful on top of that left hand. X-rays were negative, but look how tough it is for him to pull off that glove. Very swollen hand yet, although that swelling's gone down a little bit today. Still tough to grab a bat, that's for sure.
Yeah, the Brewers and Ricky pretty lucky. That could have been a break. You know, you get that bottom hand, you know, you're tight around the handle of that bat. He was getting ready to make an approach to the pitch and hit him right on top. A lot of small bones up in there, and no fracture. Ricky Weeks should be day to day.
Castro waits on the 2-2. He's got the pink back working here today on Mother's Day. He fouls another one back. And, you know, sometimes a rest like this for Ricky Weeks may not be the worst thing. I mean, he's been in a season-long slump, just at 158 on the season and hitless in his last 17 at-bats. In his replacement yesterday, Masonette hit a grand slam, so stranger things have happened.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, you're right. I think maybe a couple of days off might do Ricky a world of good.
Castro swings away in the changeup. 1-2-3 inning and a good start for Marco Estrada. Brewers are coming up. The first time this afternoon on this Sunday afternoon, looking for the sweep against the Cubs. Ron Renick in his second season, of course, as the Brewers skipper. His Piggly Wiggly starting lineup. Nori Aoki making his way up to the on-deck circle. He'll lead off, followed by Jonathan Lucroy, the catcher, Braun Ramirez, Hart Taylor Green, the first baseman, Brooks Conrad at second in for Ricky Weeks, and Edwin Masonette, the shortstop.
Well, the Burger King scouting report on Jeff Samardzija is having a good year. He's throwing strikes, only 12 walks to go along with 39 punchouts. He's given up only 2 runs in his last 3 starts, and his splitter, which is ordinarily a put-away pitch, he's throwing it just about any time, even early in the count.
Does that signal a strong line of confidence for what he's done out on the mound this year?
Well, here's a guy that throughout his career, you know, in and out of the starting rotation with the Cubs, has really not been able to throw many strikes, but You can see a strikeout to walk ratio over 3-1. I mean, he's having a nice year. The Cubs are 5-1 in his 6 starts this year.
So start number 7 on the season for Samardzija, who's an outstanding athlete. Of course, many remember his receiving days at Notre Dame playing football, and how lucky to be able to choose 2 professional sports. And Aoki, a very good start for the Brewers here, opens up with the base hit. Let's take a look at that defense behind Samardzija. It's the Menards defense. Soriano, Campana, and DeJesus out in the outfield. Stewart, Castro, Barney, and Laher across the infield. And Giovanni Soto is the catcher here this afternoon for Samardzija. Aoki over at first base for Jonathan Lucroy. And Jonathan Lucroy on a hot streak right now. 341 over this 29 games here on the season. 4 for 7 in the series.
The second consecutive game where Ron Renick has put him in the number 2 spot. He's an ideal number 2 hitter. Hits the ball to the opposite field very well. Not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. Patient at the plate. Very important for the Brewers to figure out a combination in front of Braun and Ramirez to get on base.
Aoki bluffs a move at first, and Lucroy fouls it back. But how about Jonathan Lucroy? 9-game hitting streak, 471 during that stretch, and he's slugging nearly 620, but big RBIs, including a lot of 2-out RBIs.
2-out and runner in scoring position. Outstanding for Lucroy, and for the year he's 10 for 20 with runners in scoring position. That's a 500 clip. Far and away the best Brewer hitter in that category.
Lucroy down 2 strikes in his first at bat against Samardzija, and there's one outside. Could be another one of these situations where you talk about Ricky Weeks getting a couple of days off, and that allows somebody else at the top of that order, as you mentioned, to get in there. Someone with a very good batting average right now and on base percentage to mix things up. The Brewers have scored 8 runs in each of their last 2 games. Won 8-7 on Friday in that 5-hour and 4-minute marathon, and then yesterday afternoon 8-2.
Was that what it was? It seemed a lot quicker than that. Well, the Cubs walked 14. The Brewers had 9 walks, right? 23 walks in the game. And
there was one clean half inning by each team, right, in that whole 13 innings.
Yeah. Randy Wolf had a 3-up, 3-down inning. I believe it was the 2nd inning.
I believe you're right. Lucroy among catchers in the game. Not too shabby. Right up there with the top with Ruiz.
This has a good approach right now and very patient at the plate. And the key to his success, as it always has been, is ability to wait back and just thinking about driving that ball right to the second baseman, not trying to pull it.
Samardzija keeping a close eye on Aoki. Samardzija standing tall on the mound, 6'5", 220. He is 27 years old. As I mentioned, a standout receiver at Notre Dame. All kinds of school records for the Fighting Irish. Aoki moves. Lucroy puts it in play. He'll be thrown out, but Nori Aoki is over at second base in scoring position for Ryan Braun, and that's a good sign for Ryan Braun because he is swinging a hot bat right now. Take a look at Ryan Braun's numbers over the last 10 games, just under 400.
Well, and the key to Ryan's success is going to be, obviously, you know, Ryan has the ability to put it together year after year. It's going to be important for the Brewers to get men on base in front of him and get Aramis Ramirez swinging the bat. Ramirez has been swinging it pretty well. He's got a nice hitting streak going.
Ramirez on a 9-gamer in his own right. There's Ryan's season averages. 1 for 6 in this series. Ryan has not hit the Cubs real well this year, just 4 for 17. But having a great homestand 444 clip during this now 6 games into this homestand. A couple of home runs and 3 RBIs. Marger misses again.
That's that split-fingered fastball that we were talking about on our scouting report, in that a lot of guys are going to save that pitch for 2 strikes, but on a 1-0 count, Samardzija, very confident in that pitch, and a good take by Braun.
There's a strike to Braun. You can hear Adrian Johnson in this ballpark on a strike. There's a good look at that grip. And another one on Braun. Didn't like it.
He's thrown him 3 different pitches in this at bat. He's thrown him a splitter, a fastball, and a changeup. Trying to mix it up. First base open. Samardzija going right after him.
Aoki at second. Braun to short. Aoki will have to stay at second. And Braun is thrown out. So that'll bring up Ramirez now with 2 down here in the Brewer first inning. So the former Cub facing his own team, wearing the Brewer whites here for the first time in this series. 228 on the season for Ramirez. As I mentioned, a 9-game hitting streak going. During that span, he also has 9 RBIs. Takes a mighty swing at that first pitch.
He's got a good arm. Talking about Samardzija, that was 96. He'll run it up there to about 97 once in a while. But very impressive is the fact that he's been able to throw everything for strikes so far this year.
And Ramirez misses again. The 0-2 misses outside. Throwing some heat at 97.
Yeah, and he does it. It doesn't even look like he's expending much effort. They call it easy cheese out there in the mound. Effortless with the big velocity.
Ramirez fights to stay alive. The Brewers a chance to sweep Chicago here this afternoon. They have not had many chances for a sweep this season. They had one against the Cubs back at Wrigley Field in April and had a chance a couple of weeks ago against the Astros, but they have not had a sweep yet this season. And it would be nice to get a little winning streak going as the Brewers hit the road for New York and then Houston. Mark and Cannon, did you get hit down there?
Mark and Woody.
Very close. I was diving for my life. Woody has far better reflexes than I. He saved the day. Our ace cameraman here.
I would just stand right behind Woody if I were you. Just watch the game off the monitor. Be safe. And Ramirez strikes out.
baseball at Miller Park. No score, top second. Marco Estrada, today's starter, told me he's feeling more comfortable adjusting to the starting role. He feels confident pitching deeper in the games. He says now he's looking to be more consistent. Ron Renneke said he's happy with Estrada's efforts, but that Marco needs to avoid that one bad inning he can have from time to time. But guys, Renneke and pitching coach Rick Kranitz both say Estrada has terrific stuff. There is a great upside for this young man. The sky is the limit.
Yeah, he's been very poised in his short period of time with Milwaukee, particularly good in that starting rotation. He's picked up nicely for Chris Narveson. He's got all the pitches, and he's been able to throw them off for strikes. You're right, though. The big inning certainly hurt him his last time out.
5 runs on 5 hits to the first 5 batters in the 4th inning against the Reds on Monday in his last start. So now he faces Brian LaHare, who's batting a hefty .354. And once again, Estrada working ahead in the count so far to the Cubs early in this game. Here's the 0-2. And he strikes out LaHare, so making quick work of Chicago. That's a good sign for Marco Estrada.
Getting ahead with good quality fastballs on the corners, and then going with the curveball that time to put him away. That back foot slider, curveball, whatever you want to call it. Very effective pitch. I don't know if it's me, but I think these pink bats this year much darker than they've been in the past.
I think very well could be.
You see the one on the on-deck circle? It used to be a lot lighter than that.
Going with maybe the heavier tone of pink. Alfonso Soriano has the pink wristbands on. Some of the players get the bats and decide not to use them.
That's the color the bats used to be, the light pink.
A little lighter.
They're a lot darker. What do they call it? Hot pink? Come on, you got kids. Is that hot pink?
Well,
of course, your boys don't wear.
I don't think my boys.
Pink, right?
Well, they may not admit to the hot pink when it comes to girl watching, but we haven't had that discussion yet.
All right.
Well, hopefully the pink won't help the hot pink bats of the Cubs today. At least if you're pulling for Marco Estrada. Ian Stewart's got the hot pink bat in the on-deck circle. It does look like a darker shade of pink, Rock.
It is.
Ball and 2 strikes to Soriano. And he lifts this one high in the infield. Taylor Green coming in just into fair territory for the second out.
Yeah, for Monday home games, fans can purchase terrace reserve seats for just $8. That's courtesy of Miller High Life. Visit brewers.com/highlight. Offer excludes marquee games.
A lot of moms here at the ballpark, of course. And now Stewart steps into the batter's box, waving hello. Good to see you. It's nice to know the TV monitors are working around the ballpark.
Right. Everything works here.
Here's Ian Stewart to face Estrada. Talking to some of the Brewer players around the batting cage today. They actually took batting practice here on a Sunday afternoon. They don't normally do that. And some of the guys like Jonathan Lucroy tried the pink back out, and you know, it's just a comfort level when you get out there. And he said, I'm not sure I can use the pink bat here today, but he will definitely use the wristbands. You see those are on, and the fighting necklaces, a lot of the guys have those on.
Yeah. Showing support for breast cancer awareness. What a great cause. And who amongst us does not have someone that we know, fighting that battle?
19 strikes already delivered by Marco Estrada. This one hit well into right field. Corey Hart along the line and makes the grab into foul territory. And Corey Hart, he's been swinging a hot bat as well. And Corey Hart, well, gets set to lead off for Milwaukee as we head to the bottom of the second. getting to the bottom of the second, and you're watching the Brewers Cup Series on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Burger King. There's a nice pink sweatshirt here at the ballpark. Corey Hart set to lead off now, the bottom of the second inning for Milwaukee against Jeff Samardzija. No score. And Samardzija bringing some heat. Corey Hart trying to counter with some heat. He has had a hot series. And it all started on Friday night with that big home run to tie the game, and then the game winner in the bottom of the 13th.
Yeah, that's the thing about Corey Hart. When he starts, getting hot, he can carry you for a while.
He certainly carried the Brewers on Friday. And that is the good news. They need a lift, and sometimes you get a lift out of one player. It can happen in a game of baseball. And that can spread to the rest of the team. Hart strikes out his first time up. 2 strikeouts now for Samardzija.
Yeah, he just continues to pound the strike zone. I mean, there's really no trickery involved with Jeff Samardzija. I mean, he just comes right after you with good stuff, getting a lot of the play with his fastball, but the Brewers swinging right through it. His range so far today has been about 84 to 97. That's a big speed range to have to be aware of up there at the plate.
And now Taylor Green, the Brewers' first baseman, steps in for the first time here in the game. Green has never faced Samardzija. Of course, Green, not a lot of major league at bats, but he's done a nice job filling in at first base when called upon. Has a hit in this series, batting .250 so far on the season.
When you look at the history between these hitters, both the Cubs and the Brewers, against the pitchers, there hadn't been too many guys with a lot of experience against the staffs. Ryan and Corey Hart each have 9 at bats coming in.
So Green strikes out. 2 down quickly here in the Brewers' second. Here's a look at the shade of pink, and Rock, you spotted it. Look at that.
Yeah, very much lighter Bill Hall when he hit that home run to win a ball game on Mother's Day. And there's Ian Stewart's hot pink bat. That's what I'm going to go with tonight.
I like it
today.
I think a lot of people like the hot pink reference. Brooks Conrad now steps in, the Brewer second baseman today. Bill Hall, by the way, called up by the Orioles.
Yeah.
So he's still sticking around the bigs, signed a minor league deal, and now has been called up because of an injury. Joining J.J. Hardy over there, and the Orioles off to a real fast start over in the AL East, huh? First place.
J.J.'s swinging the bat well.
Yeah. 22-12, the Orioles in first place by 2 games over the Tampa Bay Rays as we start action today. Not the Yankees, not the Red Sox at the top of the East for most of this season so far.
Yeah. I just wonder how some of these teams that get off to great starts are going to be able to hold up and hold off. Got teams like the Yankees and Tampa. And we'll see.
Longevity's the key. 2-1 now to Conrad, lifts one into center field. Campana hauls it in. We head to the third. go to the top of the third. No score between the Brewers and the Cubs. And we'd like to welcome in Mark Antanasio into the booth. Of course, the Brewers' principal owner. And good to see you again. I've been around in and out during this homestand a little bit. And I know here on this Mother's Day, you've got a very special message you'd like to deliver. And this is the time.
Thanks, Craig. Mom, I'd like to wish you happy Mother's Day. I'm sorry I can't be in Los Angeles with you. And I know you're watching Brewers baseball, so happy Mother's Day and go Brewers.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Well done. And a lot of cheers out to the moms today. There's no question about that. And a lot of moms come out. We always enjoy Mother's Day here at the ballpark because it's Sundays are family days anyway, but this really ties everyone in as Giovanni Soto leads off the Cubs half of the third inning here today.
Good to see Mark with the pink shirt. Now, is Craig got pink on over there? Is that considered pink? It's kind of.
This is definitely pink.
Shades of pink.
I think you might call that salmon.
But it's great that baseball, breast cancer awareness with the pink bats and a lot of support that baseball does for great causes throughout the year.
Yeah, I got my
somewhere in there. Okay, I'm giving you the shades. There's different shades. I know it.
And they got the shades down in the field there.
Yeah. Actually, I like that. I'm going with salmon the rest of the day, Mark.
It's like something Bob Uecker might fish for there.
Exactly. You have to watch out for Bob coming over to our booth here today. So Estrada retires the first batter. Soto on the pop-up. And one down here in the Cubs half of the third inning. That's going to bring up Darwin Barney now. And your Brewers playing some good baseball over the last couple of days. That Friday marathon certainly turned out to be a good one to win. Something perhaps that might kickstart this team.
Well, we've actually been playing well for about a week now, and I really try to pay attention to how we look, win or lose. And sometimes when you win ugly, and I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty. But we've been playing better back to the San Francisco series, and hopefully we're starting to turn it around and have some of these guys like Edwin Masonette did yesterday step up, when they're given the opportunity.
But you have to really be impressed with the starting pitching, Mark. The last 4 games, 3 earned runs in 4 starts. It all started with Gallardo on Tuesday.
Yeah, the pitching has been terrific, and as the starters go deeper into games, then it takes some burden off our bullpen, and it all works together. Last year we had the 3rd best pitching in the league, and this year, up until now, we haven't. Just put it that way, and you would expect we would. This is a really talented pitching staff.
Well, they're definitely starting to put it together, and Marco Estrada trying to do his part here against the opposing pitcher, Jeff Samardzija. And so far, so good. A good start, and a lot of first pitch strikes certainly help any pitcher. That's for sure, Rob.
Yeah, and that helps any pitcher, particularly a guy that doesn't throw very hard. Marco able to get to his changeup. He's been throwing that early in the count, and the put-away pitch so far today has been the slider. But Mark, leaving spring training, did you ever imagine your infield would look the way it does today?
No, that's
it's the way the game is, though, right?
It's the way the game is. But I think it's great that 3/4 of our infield today and our center fielder get a chance to show us what they've got.
Here's a look at that comparison from opening day to today's. Of course, opening day on the inside and today's on the outside. And Ramirez the only mainstay there right now, largely because of injuries. Of course, to Gonzalez over at short, and Matt Gamble, the first baseman, and Ricky Weeks got hit in the top of the hand on Friday, so he's missing his 2nd consecutive game. And certainly don't want that to be any more serious than it is. Hopefully just a couple of days of rest for Ricky Weeks, and might not be a bad thing for him right now to sit and take a big deep breath and exhale a little bit right now. It's been kind of a rough start for him, to say the least, right now.
Ricky is one of our players, kind of like Prince was. He wants to be in every inning of every game. So the only way you're going to get him out of a game, and by the way, he's so mentally tough. That is one of our guys who does not need a rock filter about a mental day off.
Right.
Ricky doesn't need those.
Well, we're going to come back with Mark Antanasio. No scores. We head to the Brewer third. Wisconsin is presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine.
Take a look at our Powerball home run count for Milwaukee. And how about the grand slam yesterday by Edwin Masonette? Doesn't get to play very often and hits his first career grand slam and only his second career home run, first since the 2009 season. And what a spark plug that hit was for Milwaukee as he gets set to lead off the bottom half of the third inning for Milwaukee. Brewers principal owner Mark Antanasio joining us again here in the third inning. And boy, that had to be something you can't help but put a big smile on your face knowing where Masonette's been and where this team has been here in the last week, trying to get the offense going, plugging holes for some injuries as well.
Well, as I was saying before, we need, we've got enough injuries now. Unfortunately, we're going to need some of the guys who are getting their opportunity to take advantage of it. And he certainly has, including the night before he had a hit late in the game, line drive to left field. So we talk about it in spring training. You have 25 players on your roster, but probably over the course of the year use 30 to 35 back and forth to the minor leagues. Vinny Chulk the other night. Key role winning that game. By the way, his first major league win, I think, since 2007.
Correct. He threw well, pounded the strike zone, a tough spot. Really, no room for error. I mean, nobody really left. And
no room for error.
You're the guy, right? I mean, that's it. And he handled it pretty well.
We're going to have to bring you out of the booth to help out. We had a catcher go down.
Right. Yeah. Me or Bob Uecker, what do you think? I think Uecker might be better off.
Yeah.
He's an honest man. You don't get to his stature in life without being honest. Speaking of that, you're going on the road trip with the team. You're going to New York for the Mets series, and then you have some owners meetings. What's going on with that?
Yeah, this is, I wish I could spend every day just traveling, being with the team, but my money management business, and so I, a couple times a year get to do this, and this worked out great this week because we have Major League Owners meetings on Wednesday and Thursday in New York, and we play the Mets, 2 days there, so I'll get to spend 4 days in New York, and then Debbie's been in Israel for a couple weeks and is there today, so that's why I didn't wish her Mother's Day since I don't think they get the Fox broadcast over in Tel Aviv. But
she be keeping up with the team?
Oh, yeah. No, she's keeping up with the team. I say, how are you following all of this? Yeah. It's the middle of the night there. But no, she definitely keeps up with the team. And got to give her some update on some of the Brewers' wives things that we've all read about.
Hop fly into foul territory and just into the seats by about 3 or 4 rows.
Yeah, Friday night was kind of a rough night for the Brewer wives. I mean, John Axford had to leave. It looked as though his wife was going to give birth, and then Corey Hart's wife hit a deer on her way home. So a little bit of nervousness in that clubhouse.
And Garth Orge's wife took a bit of a spill in the parking lot. Right. So I don't know what was going on that night, but I understand Nicole Axford is home now and resting. And everything's on target to have the baby in a few weeks when the time comes.
Mason at a fly ball that will easily be handled by Barney for the first out here in the Brewer half of the third inning.
Yeah, that puts some things in perspective. John Axford goes out there and for the first time in 50 games doesn't get a save. And obviously has on his mind the fact that his wife is in premature labor at the hospital, and no one knows that, right? And obviously he's not the kind of guy who's going to make an excuse. But the players all have they've all got lives and things that weigh on them, and they got to come to the ballpark every day and perform in front of fortunately here 40,000 people. So it's it's a grind.
You have things going on. You just can't call and say I can't come in today, right? This is a different kind of business. That doesn't work that way.
I don't know any other business where if your wife's in preterm labor, you're not at the hospital. And obviously that's Axe's decision. Our club is a very family friendly club, and Ron Renicky and whatnot. Absolutely, if Axe wanted the night off, he would deal with that. He'd have the night off. This year we had Alex Gonzalez took a few days when his wife was having a C-section, and then actually she was in the hospital an extra day, so he stayed an extra day. Ron never has an issue with things like that. And it helps these guys perform better, frankly, knowing that we treat them that way.
Mark, I was equally impressed that Axe hand wrote a note to the media and left it at his locker to explain the circumstance with his wife, and also showing an appreciation for the fact that I know I had this long streak going for saves, and I do appreciate that streak, but got to take care of the family first. And I also, it's funny on there, he said, I also appreciate the media side of this and having to cover this. You don't see that from a player very often at all. Aoki fouls one straight back and just out of play again.
You know where I usually sit.
Not too far from where you sit, indeed.
Last year I tried to catch a foul ball there, went right through my hands that Joe Mauer hit. One of the fans gave me the ball back, and then Mauer signed the ball and said, "Hey, Mark, nice catch."
We gave you credit for catching that, up here. And then you were too honest.
You guys had my back. I
trying to make you
that.
look good.
I appreciate that. No, see, he's got the ball.
So Aoki batting now 1 for 1. He led off the game with a single. And that's been the only hit so far between the Cubs and the Brewers here on this Sunday afternoon. Brewers going for a sweep against the Cubs. That would be something that I know you'd like to see your team. It's good to win series. They've won the series here already against Chicago. And then the goal after that, winning some series, is seeing if this team can get hot and get a winning streak going.
Yeah, Ron Renicky talked to me about that the other day, the need for us to start winning series. You're not going to make up, we're 5 games under 500 at one point, just like we were last year. And you're not going to make that up in one game, and you're unlikely going to make it up in 5 games. So what you need to do is just start winning series, and then you go from there.
You have 2 out of 3 and a nice long stretch, and you're right back to where you want to be.
Samardzija delivers the 2-2, and Aoki, a tough batter to get out, and he'll work the count. He's done a nice job in his limited time in his starting role. Gets the start here in center field today.
He's put into a lot of tough spots, Nori, and he's performed nicely. He's frankly, we had the series in Chicago against Ryan Dempster. I think he saw 29 or 30 pitches that game, and so pretty much we got Dempster at an inning earlier than we would have, thanks to the just good at bats that Nori had.
3-time Japanese batting champion Aoki, and right down the right field line, base hit. Will it be 2? At least. Aoki turns second on his way to third. Here comes the relay in, and it's a triple for Aoki. Second hit of the game for the Brewers center fielder.
Now, they certainly weren't expecting him to pull the ball on Samardzija. They were playing way off the line. Lahair not even close. That ball really wasn't that close to the line, actually, but Lahair playing off the line, figuring he wouldn't pull it. And they were shaded in the gap. You can see how far the first baseman is off the line. And because of that, and how far DeJesus had to go in right, Aoki in there easily at third base. So Nori 2 for 2, the only 2 hits of the game so far. Mark, you're right. He does perform pretty well against these Cubs.
One of the things, I think that, Ron Renicky's managing style is he manages to get all these guys in games, even if they're pinch hitting or they're pinch running or double switches, so guys don't get stale. And that allows them to perform when they get the occasional start.
Luke Hoy with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, 8 for 12 this year, and he's got Aoki over there at third base with 2 down here in the Brewer third inning.
That's not a bad clutch hitting. 8 for 12. That's a .667 batting average. Markey looks like a pretty good number 2 hitter in that batting order.
Yeah, no kidding. In the .337, and
the fact that he hits the ball to the opposite field very well. Good 2-strike hitter ordinarily.
Puts the ball in play. Actually ended up last night having dinner at Carnivore, and Jonathan and his wife and friends were at the next table. So it was funny when somebody came over, one of the waiters came over, was talking to me. I said, yeah, Lucroy is not, he's not really getting quite where we want him to get yet. Jonathan was laughing. It was very funny.
He sure fits into this community very well. Jonathan Lucroy, of course, signing the contract extension, and about as personable as a guy there is in the general public with the media as well. Very approachable, and really a good fit behind the plate and here in the city of Milwaukee. There's no question about that.
Yeah, down-to-earth kind of guy. I mean, you got to be impressed about how far he has come in a very short period of time. A couple of years ago, he started the year in Double-A.
High fly ball, shallow left field. Soriano coming in, fighting the sun, and makes the catch. Well, Mark, we appreciate your time up here, and
thanks, Craig.
Enjoy the journey out to New York.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, Mark Antanasio, Brewer owner here from Miller Park. There's still no score. Our GMC pitchers duel here today between Samardzija and, of course, Estrada.
Yeah, pitchers have been dominant so far, but doing it in a little bit different ways. Marco Estrada with good location and keeping hitters off balance, and Samardzija, on the other hand, just blowing hitters away with that upper 90s fastball and the splitter.
Starters comparison, each with 4 strikeouts in this game. And Samardzija, his 2 hits that he surrendered, both to Aoki.
Marco Estrada's game today begins exactly like it did 5 days ago when he pitched against the Reds. 9 up, 9 down. This is the important 4th inning.
The further that Marco Estrada gets in, the more he's got to dial it in right now. And he's well aware of it. He's been very efficient so far in this game. It has been 3 up and 3 down for the Cubs. As we go back to the top of the order, David DeJesus now will lead off the 4th inning. Looks like there's some conversation going on between both dugouts and Adrian Johnson. Not quite sure what that was, but we've got the 4th inning going. And again, Estrada ahead in the count, a strike. He struck out DeJesus back in the 1st. Little grounder, tough play. Masonette, and he can't make it happen. So DeJesus reaches. That's the first base runner for the Cubs. And that was a slow roller that Ramirez could not get to, and they'll rule it a base hit.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat, a little cue shot. And, the speed for DeJesus is why Ramirez was so shallow, thinking perhaps he might try and bunt his way on. Because of that, just couldn't get to it. And it really didn't matter if Masonette had it in the glove or not. DeJesus would have beat it out.
DeJesus now at first, nobody down for Tony Campana.
Campana grounded out to Green. Runner goes. This one hits straightaway center field. Aoki has it and will quickly throw it to Green, trying to double up to Jesus, and the throw just late. Aoki right on target.
Yeah, for $20 get one ticket to Brewer home game on August 17th and one voucher for select Timber Rattlers games, plus a t-shirt. Visit brewers.com/Timber Rattlers. It's a good thing for the Brewers that Campana offered at that pitch, because DeJesus had that stolen easily.
Yeah, he had a very good jump against Estrada. And now Starlin Castro had a 10-game hitting streak snapped yesterday. Struck out in the first inning. 326 as he sits in the batter's box on the season. What an outstanding year for the young shortstop for the Cubs. Following up last season, has now missed a beat.
The amazing thing about Castro, he's got the big batting average and hardly ever walks. He's got 4 walks this year. 4. And he's still able to hit 326. Which means he's swinging at a number of pitches out of the strike zone.
DeJesus over at first. And this one hit in the right field. Corey Hart has to play it on a bounce. And so 2 on now with 1 down for the Cubs. Let's take a look at our AT&T trivia here this afternoon. What year were the first pink bats used on Mother's Day? Interesting question here on Mother's Day today. We've seen the pink bats. We know they've changed shades now over time. So
yeah,
it wasn't really recently ago, but it wasn't that long ago either, was it?
This is the first year of the darker pink.
There's a comparison in the dugout between current bats being used today.
And this is an important stretch of the batting order for Marco, because he's got to be able to make some adjustments. Again, this Cub lineup hasn't seen a lot of them, so early advantage goes to the pitcher. But these hitters, big league hitters, make adjustments very quickly. That's what happened to Marco against Cincinnati.
And here's Brian LaHare. 0 for 1 today. Has a streak of reaching base safely in 29 consecutive games. He's the first Cub first baseman to reach safely in 29 straight games since Derek Lee did it back in the 2009 season for Chicago.
And it took 13 innings for him to extend that streak on Friday. It was his last time up, and the Brewers walked him intentionally.
An intentional walk.
At the time, he was 0 for 6. 13th inning with 2 outs and first base open. Ron Renicky elected to walk him, and that extended the streak.
And that streak right now the longest in the National League this season. He's behind the ball and 2 strikes to Estrada. First big threat of the game for the Cubs coming right here in this inning. First and second, nobody out. There's a liner. Masonette, nice play on 1 hop. Steps on second, throws. Green makes the play. And how about that double play to get out of trouble? Nicely done, Edwin Masonette and Taylor Green. The young Brewers shortstop flashing some rudder. No scores who go to the bottom of the 4th.
The community and Major League Baseball raising awareness for breast cancer here on this Mother's Day. I am joined by the 2012 honorary Brewer Batgirl, Terry Porter, a breast cancer survivor. She's from Oak Creek. Terry, thanks for being with us. And I know you talk to a lot of people who are dealing with cancer. How important is it for them to share their stories?
Well, I think it's different for everybody. Some of us are very open about it and some are not, and that's okay. I'm the open person. The one, when my head was bald, I let people touch my head. It's just how you do it, and just so everybody has their own comfort level and can deal with it in their own way.
Now, you're a big fundraiser, very active on that front. You want a lot of folks to wear pink, right?
Oh, pink is in, and tough guys wear pink.
Tough guys wear pink. Well, Terry, thanks for sharing your story. And Rock and Craig, Terry threw out the first pitch today, got there in plenty of time. Great stuff to Joe Crawford. She was practicing with her husband and her daughter's boyfriend. Look at this. No doubt about it. She's got great stuff.
That's awesome. And you got to practice.
You know, anytime you get it on the fly on that first pitch and you don't have the catcher running around, that's a good pitch. I mean, that's a little nerve-wracking out there when you're not used to it.
You made good reference to that on Friday night on my end, by the way. That must mean either I'm nervous or just can't get the ball to the catcher.
I just asked Brian if he had ever seen you throw. Now, he made assumptions that I really didn't intend.
Ryan Braun, fly ball right field, going to make the stands.
But how about that play by Masonette? You kidding me? Now, you talk about, you know, offense and why offense is down. I mean, ordinarily that's a base hit and probably a run in, right? I mean, if you have the normal defensive alignment, but he's playing up the middle. He's got a line drive, a one hopper that just about undresses him, and he's able to turn a double play.
Outstanding to stop that ball and then race over for the first out, and then a nice glove by Green on the other end. So the two newbies doing a nice job with their gloves to help on that double play. And here's
look where he is. Look at Masonette. I mean, he's basically up the middle. That's normally a base hit and an RBI. The guy at first is probably going to end up at third, Starlin Castro, and all of a sudden you have first and third, one out, and Marco Estrada's in bad trouble. But because of the defensive shift, which is more common than not in baseball these days, you talk to some of these managers around baseball, the fact that, you know, the conventional placement of fielders is more out of the ordinary these days than the dramatic shift. And those are good hands by Masonette on the backhand.
And Taylor Green making his fourth start at first base on the big league level. Only made 2 at first base on the minor league level this year, showing he can handle first base for the Brewers defensively. And that's what you have to do. There's a host of replacements for Matt Gamble right now. But if you're swinging the bat well and you're not making any mistakes on the field and helping out guys like Masonette on that throw to complete a nice double play, you're going to get some more playing time.
Yeah, these guys have filled in amply well so far.
Another 3-2 pitch to Braun, and he draws a walk this time. Good at bat for Ryan Braun, a leadoff runner now for Milwaukee here in the fourth. That'll bring up Aramis Ramirez. And Ramirez grounded out to short his first time up. Samardzija delivers, and there's a base hit into left field. So the first 2 reach for Milwaukee. Ramirez taking a whack at that first pitch, now wasting any time.
Yeah, first pitch fastball right down the middle at 94 miles an hour. And Samardzija with a walk to lead off the inning, wanting to get ahead of Aramis. And Ramirez able to get the bat head out and hit it hard into left field. Soriano plays very deep in left, which is why he had to play it on a hop. Slowly but surely, Ramirez starting to creep that batting average north.
That extends his hitting streak now to 10 games. Corey Hart pushes a bunt down, and Samardzija will tag him on the way. But Hart moves the runners into scoring position with one down.
Well, you figure Corey did that on his own. And as hot as he's been swinging the bat, I doubt Ron Rennecke's going to have him sacrifice. He's trying to butt the ball by Samardzija. If you get it by the pitcher, pretty good chance he's going to be able to get a base hit. And if you don't, you get a sacrifice.
So now Taylor Green, a golden opportunity here. A base hit could score 2 runs. And the infield pushing in close to the grass. And Green rips one in the right field, and it is caught out there by DeJesus, but far enough away to score Ryan Braun. And the Brewers grab the first lead of the ball game here in the 4th inning. It's 1-0 Milwaukee.
Well, obviously a planned shift for the Brewers. Attack early. Get after that first pitch fastball. Taylor Green didn't come far from an extra base hit, but he gets an RBI.
And that's his first RBI on the big league season for the Brewers. That brings up Brooks Conrad, who has an opportunity to get his first Brewer RBI as well, and his first base hit. Brooks Conrad with an outstanding spring. One of the last players not to make the big league roster, and tore it up at spring, or I should say at Nashville, at AAA, batting over 400. But has not been able to duplicate that here in limited time on the big league level. This ball gets past Soto, throw to third. Ramirez beats it. Wow.
That looked like he looked pretty close. Apparently Dale Swain agrees he's not coming out of the dugout. And watch Ramirez. He had a big secondary lead. The ball didn't get by too far, but boy, that's bang bang. And let's check it out. Boy,
that's about as close as you're going to get to being safe.
Soto thought he was out.
Well, the Brewers will take the break, see what they can do with it. Conrad is swinging a miss. 2-1. So the wild pitch to Samardzija.
And you might want to think about getting a big lead at third. Any guy that has a split-fingered fastball, pretty good chance he's going to throw a wild pitch at some point.
High 3-1.
Of course, Samardzija's only got 2 wild pitches, including that last one, which speaks pretty well for the Cubs catchers, being able to block that splitter in the dirt.
That drops in for a strike. That moves the count full 3-2. Conrad in his 7th game for the Brewers. And he strikes out. But the Brewers pick up a run here in the 4th and grab the lead as we head to the 5th.
Fox Sports Wisconsin presented by Burger King. Ryan Braun scoring the game's only run so far. It's 1-0 Milwaukee.
And today's time of the game winner is Shenanigans in Sherwood. You know where Sherwood is? South of Green Bay.
Sure.
Calumet County.
Yep, I was just going to say that.
Shenanigans. And if they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Sun shining on our fans here, enjoying a cold one at the ballpark. What a beautiful Mother's Day it is. Again, happy Mother's Day. There's the roof as it's strategically placed to make sure there's shade across the pitcher's mound and the batter's box is preferred by the hitters. And since the roof has been open actually all weekend, the Brewers have won both of those games and lead here in Game 3 against Chicago as Alfonso Soriano leads off the 5th inning against Marco Estrada. Soriano 0 for 1, popped out to Taylor Green his first time up. Brewers looking for only their 2nd win on a Sunday this season. Yesterday marked their first series win since April 23rd and 24th against Houston.
Yeah, Brewers are 3-0 with the roof open. That is in the game notes, courtesy of Mike Vasallo and his crack staff. 2-0 with the roof open and the glass panels open. 1-0 with the roof open and the glass panels closed.
That's a lot to keep track of, isn't it?
No stone unturned.
Is there a stat for roof half cracked? Or roof half open?
I think it always is, isn't it?
Right on the line. Ramirez. Long throw to Green for out number 1. Sundays on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall, the personal stories of some of baseball's greatest legends. This week it's Robin Roberts. Boys in the Hall after the game, presented by Subway Restaurants, where winners eats.
Yeah, so the stars might align. 3-0 with the roof open, and the Brewers with their blue home uniforms, the tops, 8-6.
It's a winning record.
Yes, it is. Well, it is.
It's not dominant, but it's winning. Of course, numbers show this year it has not been dominant by any stretch of the imagination. The Brewers playing from behind in the standings and trying to catch up. They've done their part the last couple of games.
Yep, 9-8 at home this year.
Here's Ian Stewart. And again, Estrada ahead of the count early, which has really been a key for him and success early on in the 5th inning.
And doing other fastballs and well-located fastballs, too. And he's doing a nice job of that last pitch, tying up Ian Stewart on the inside corner.
41 strikes out of the 56 thrown by Estrada. Long fly ball to right field. Hart going back, and he's going to run out of room. And just that quickly, we are tied at 1-1 thanks to Stewart's solo home run.
Yeah, on an 0-2 pitch. Looked like they tried to change up on Stewart on 0-2 and left it up around the belt. Check it out. Change up. And Stewart able to wait back long enough and knock it out of here. Pink bat and all. Pink bat, pink wristbands, and pink gloves.
4th home run for Stewart. Now Estrada's got to regroup with 1 down and go after Giovanni Soto. And he quickly falls behind. 2-0. Soto 0 for 1 in this game. That one not even close. 3-0. And 4 straight balls to Soto puts him at first with 1 down. And Jonathan Lucroy will go out and talk with the Brewer pitcher. Let's answer AT&T trivia. What year were the first pink bats used on Mother's Day?
05, 06.
Billy Hall. Let's see.
Yeah.
2006.
Yeah.
Interesting trivia question today.
That's a good one.
Yeah. There are the pink bats in the Cubs dugout. Ian Stewart using one to hit a home run moments ago. Rick Kranitz also coming out to talk with Estrada, trying to slow things down a little bit, let him have time to regroup.
Yeah, shaking up a little bit on that 0-2 changeup that Stewart hit out of the ballpark. And Kranitz trying to remind him, just keep doing what you've been doing. It was just one pitch. And again, you know, Marco Estrada so far this year, I mean, he'll cruise along and all of a sudden have a bad inning and give up some runs and then settle down again. And it looked like that might have happened last inning, but Edward Masonette really bailed him out.
Darwin Barney takes a strike to even the count. Well, you love the defense behind you, but you want to be able to make the pitches too. And be able to regroup after giving up a home run, such as the case to Stewart 2 batters ago. Barney offered, got a piece of that baseball, 1-2.
Well, Rick Kranitz apparently got him back to where he was earlier. Those last 2 pitches right on the outside corner.
Estrada making his 13th big league start today. All but one coming with the Brewers. Missing just low.
Yeah, but had the plate, but just a little bit low, according to Adrian Johnson. Look low. Not much.
Barney to short. Masonette. Conrad. Green. Double play. And for the second consecutive inning, the double play is Marco Estrada's best friend. And now the heavy-hitting Edward Masonette set to come in.
Beautiful Miller Park. Bernie Brewer on hand. So am I, Bill Schroeder, and Mark Concannon. It's the Cubs and the Brewers, and Bernie's got his mom with us as well, looks like, on Mom's Day. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Milwaukee Brewers Baseball Club. Bottom of the 5th we go. Edwin Masonette will lead off for Milwaukee. He's had a nice job defensively so far for the Brewer crew at shortstop. Masonette with a big slam yesterday. Pop up to second base today and is only at bat. Samardzija now ahead of ball and 2 strikes. To short. Castro. Masonette makes it close, but there's one down. Time now for our AT&T Uverse Reverse replay as we take a look at that Brewer defense with Masonette leading the cause.
Yeah, good soft hands by Masonette. He had to take it himself because Brooks Conway was shaded a little bit over toward the hole with the left-handed hitter up, and realized he had to get over there himself and able to make the play. Good job by Masonette. Brewers defense last few weeks has been pretty good. They get off to a slow start defensively, but lately much better.
One down for Marco Estrada. Did a nice job after giving up the home run to Stewart to tie the game in the last half inning. Then a walk on 4 straight balls to regroup, and of course always helps to get that double play. And he's been able to get it in each of the last 2 innings to end threats. Estrada officially 0 for 6 at the plate this season. It was interesting with Masonette's grand slam yesterday. You know, last year Sean Markham was the only Brewer to hit a grand slam, so Masonette became the first Brewer position player since Ryan Braun in 2010 to hit a grand slam.
Yeah, so far this year the Brewer pitching staff off to a slow start with the bats after having a big season offensively for the starting rotation. They have Friday a grand slam by David DeJesus. Yesterday a grand slam by Masonette. All the firepower in these lineups, and those are the 2 guys that do it. You never know.
You never know. So Estrada goes down swinging. Here's a look at those grand slams. On Friday it was DeJesus. This was as a pinch hitter on the first pitch. And there was no doubt about that one. And then Masonette making his first start for the Brewers at second base for the injured Ricky Weeks. Gave it a ride.
And no cheapie. Hit that one well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Colorado Rockies lead the National League with 3 grand slams so far this year. The Cubs, they have 2.
Grand slams have not been in the Brewer production chart over the last several years. Isn't that funny? In a home run friendly ballpark with a home run friendly team.
You're right.
Here's Aoki, who's had a very productive day today, has 2 of the 3 Brewer hits.
Josh Hamilton probably has 3 grand slams himself this year.
Well, you got to wonder with those kind of numbers.
Man, 18 home runs. Are you kidding me? Oh, what's he been eating? It's amazing.
We've got lots on his plate to talk about. I mean, it's been impressive.
No, actually, the Texas Rangers, they don't have a grand slam this year. They have 52 home runs. That's third in the league. Would you ever think that the Baltimore Orioles lead the American League in home runs? They do.
They've got some offensive punch, don't they?
It goes Baltimore, the Yankees, and then Texas. Who would have thought?
One would think Texas would be riding the top.
Texas, Yankees. But it's the Baltimore Orioles.
Aoki draws the walk, so he's had an exceptional day at the plate. He's been on base all 3 times. So he draws the 2-out walk, and that gives an opportunity for Jonathan Lucroy.
That's a nice mustache on Mrs. Brewer.
You like that?
I do. I like it. You'd be a trendsetter.
I don't think so. We'll put the kibosh on that one right away. It looks good on her, though. That's the standard line.
Exactly right.
All right.
That's where Bernie gets it.
Aoki just gets back. Lucroy 0 for 2. Really like seeing those season numbers, 333. Last couple of years, he said he's going to be better offensively the longer he gets a chance to play in the major league level. And he was right. Off to a great start so far this season.
He started swinging the bat pretty well last year. And I think a lot of his attention was, the catching area his first year. Got called up early. A lot going on, learning pitchers, learning the hitters. But I think with the help of Rick Kranitz, things have been simplified for Lucroy.
Aoki goes, the throw right on the money. And that ends the 5th for Milwaukee. We're talking Josh Hamilton when we come back and show you where he's getting all that power and what kind of numbers he's put up. Presented by Burger King as Marco Estrada back on the hill in a 1-1 game. Time now for our carsoup.com email the booth question, and this one comes from Jerry from Ojima. How impressive is the start of this season by Josh Hamilton? Very.
I mean, it's tough to describe what that guy's been doing. Look at the batting average, hitting almost 500. Last week alone. And
hey, look at those numbers from last week alone. That's a season's worth.
9 home runs, 16 RBI. Some of us couldn't do that in a season. But slugging percentage, yeah, I mean, the Texas Rangers are loaded with offense. And, the thing about it that scares you is that they really can't pitch around Josh Hamilton with all the other guys they have in their lineup banging the baseball. I mean, this guy has a chance to have a monster year.
Well, there's his numbers on the left and the next closest competitor on the right. I mean, he is running away with everything right now as far as Triple Crown honors goes over in the American League. And boy, had the 4 home run day, of course. We saw Ryan Braun have a 3 home run day the week before when we were out west. But Josh Hamilton pulling off the feet. And he didn't stop there. Reed Johnson will pinch hit for Jeff Samardzija, and his day's over.
Early exit.
A little surprising there, isn't it?
He's at close to 100 pitches. Low 90s. Yeah, that is surprising.
Samardzija through 5. 1 run, 3 hits. And he had fanned 6 Brewer hitters. Johnson, deep left field. Braun going back and watches this one leave the ballpark. Well, Dale Swain pulling the right move right there as Johnson a pinch hit home run. And that will give the Cubs a 2-1 lead.
We talked about Marco Estrada now giving up 8 home runs this year. That fastball right down the middle. Johnson got under it, but just kept going. The ball has a tendency to carry pretty well during the day here with the roof open. Reed Johnson not sure if that was hit well enough or not. He's out of the box quickly, but Ryan Braun runs out of room and left.
Well, the Brewers have been playing a very good game so far. Defensively helping out Estrada, but you can't pull the home run ball back. 2 solo home runs. And that's the difference in this game. 2-1 now Chicago.
Dale Swain electing to get into that bullpen very quickly today. Every one of their guys was used in Friday's game. Early part of the bullpen has been a trouble spot for the Cubs, and Brewers are going to be able to get into it early today.
This one hit right to Corey Hart, and DeJesus is retired. That's the first out of the 6th inning. Second man in the order, Tony Campana.
Number 1, the center fielder, Tony Campana.
So the Cubs 2 runs on 4 hits, 2 of those solo home runs. Last time out for Estrada when he gave up those 5 runs all in 1 inning, he still pitched a 7-inning game for Milwaukee. Pitched well before and after that 1 bad inning. Campana lays down the bunt. Ramirez quickly in, and it's too late. Campana good wheels running down the first base line and beats out the throw.
Yeah, even playing in with the bag and in on the grass, Campana runs so fast that he feels as though if he puts it where he wants it, they're not going to be able to throw him out. Ramirez right on top of it quickly, but I mean, it's not even really close at first. Good play by Aramis, but Campana beats it. Beats it by about a eyelash. It was close.
Runner at first, 1 down for Chicago, and Starlin Castro. He singled his last time up back in the 4th inning. And later would be retired after a beautiful play to end the inning to start a double play by Masonette.
Campana with 7 stolen bases. He's been thrown out twice. You know he's going to take off.
He bluffs a move. And there's a strike by Estrada.
Yeah, Campana with 7, Starlin Castro with 12. That's 19 of the 22 stolen bases by the Cubs this year. Really the only 2 guys you have to worry about.
And Lucroy bluffing a throw down the first, doing all they can to keep Campana close. Campana, good lead, bluffs another move. Lucroy, quick throw, and he's back in there.
Well, you get a pitch out, he doesn't take off, you try and pick him off. Good throw by Luke. This is the count right here, 2-1. We would expect Campana to try and steal.
And he goes. And this one fouled straight back.
Yeah, 2-1, the best of all the hit and run counts.
Set your compass due north on Fox Sports Wisconsin. This week, take a look at the science behind some of the best fishing rods in the business. Watch Due North Outdoors Thursday at 6 only on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Two and two, the count on Starlin Castro. Campana over at first base. And he fouls another one away. This inning started with Reed Johnson pinch hitting in the pitcher spot and launching a solo home run, and the Cubs now take a 2-1 lead. And then 1 out later, Campana bunted his way on. And Estrada and Castro in a fight. And now it's 3-2.
Well, you would figure that Campana is going to run on the full count right now. Estrada's got to throw a strike. Starlin Castro knows it. And if Campana takes off on a gapper, he's probably going to be able to score.
Runner on the move, fly ball right field in foul territory, and we'll make the stand, so we'll do it all again.
Now they've got Tony Campana listed in the Cubs media guide at 5'8", 165 pounds. You buying that?
You're asking a guy who's 5'8".
Well, then I don't think he's 165 pounds, is he?
I would say not.
Out of Kettering, Ohio.
I'd say he's out of Kettering, Ohio, out of all of that for sure.
That I believe. I believe his age. They're a little generous on the height and weight.
Got to make him look big in the media guides. Even the 7-footers are 7'1".
He's huge compared to Jose Altuve with the Houston Astros.
Altuve was a nuisance when he was here, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
This one put into play in the gap. Aoki going back, and it's Hart coming in and making the catch. And quickly going back to first base is Campana. What a job by Corey Hart.
Now Corey able to angle back. He thought maybe that Aoki might get there, but right in front of the warning track, stretches out and hauls it in. Well, that ball traveled pretty well. Look at Corey, wasn't playing all that deep. Goes back nicely and hauls it in, and that's a great play by Hart, taking away extra bases. And if that ball drops, that's another run. Campana was running on the full count. Well done. We talked about the Brewers defense has been good lately. That saved the run.
That's one of the better catchers you're going to see from Corey Hart over the last year or so. I mean, that was outstanding, almost coming out of nowhere. And boy, he was hot at the plate. Now he's hot with the glove out in right field. Here's Brian LaHare. Runner moves, high fly ball to right field. Corey Hart drifting back on the warning track. Plenty of room as Corey Hart makes the last 2 outs. But how impressive was this one? Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by the new Miller Lite Punch Top Can. It's Miller time. This weekend, Dale Swamey's making his first return to Milwaukee as manager of the Chicago Cubs. How is he settling in as the top guy in the dugout? Read Ryan Kargi's story at foxsportswisconsin.com. Corey Hart playing some defense. And now the Brewers are going to face a new pitcher for Chicago here in the 6th inning. It's Sean Camp making his 16th appearance out of the bullpen for the Cubs.
Yeah, he pitched an inning on Friday night. That was right after Matt Garza only went 5 innings. He threw a scoreless frame. Yeah, good numbers for Camp in his 16th game here this afternoon.
ERA at 3.18. He's in his 9th major league season. And Jonathan Lucroy is first to face him here in the Brewer half of the 6th inning. Brewers got to play from behind here the rest of the way, but only trail 2-1. Lucroy, Braun, and Ramirez. And if somebody reaches, Corey Hart's going to get a chance. After that big catch, you'd like to give him an opportunity to swing a bat this half inning, see if he's still got the juices flowing.
Yeah, the Cubs got to run, but now they get into the part of their pitching staff that has struggled. The early part of the bullpen, the relievers so far this year are 3-9 with a .433 earned run average, as opposed to the starters' earned run average at .370.
Camp ahead of Lucroy, a ball and 2 strikes. So Samardzija goes 5 innings, gives up just 3 hits, 1 earned run, walked 2, and struck out 6 Brewer batters. Luke to third. Stewart. And there's one down. Brewer fans, this season is your opportunity to get involved in our broadcast over a wide range of social media options. You can tweet your comments and questions to our Twitter handle at FS Wisconsin. We'll choose some of the best each night and put them on the air. You can also follow along with the pulse of social media on our Game Connect page over at foxsportswisconsin.com. So Samardzija leads after throwing 91 pitches.
Yeah, kind of curious. You wonder if he's okay. I mean, he only gave up the 1 run, and that was a sac fly. But the Brewers, gave up a run in the top of the 6th, so Samardzija is the pitcher of record at this point.
And he is a young starter for the Chicago Cubs, so maybe just end on a positive note. It's always something that a lot of pitching coaches and managers will buy into, and we've seen in the past.
He's been one of their best this year. I mean, he has put together some pretty good starts. You mentioned he's only given up 2 earned runs in his last 3 starts. And that does not include today.
Ryan Braun now, ball and a strike, 1 down here in the Brewers' 6th inning. Milwaukee's offense has been able to produce 8 runs in each of the last 2 games. Hoping to crank that number up here that they've got into the Brewers, or the Cubs bullpen, I should say. Ryan's got his offensive numbers back up to season averages, if you will. Came into the game batting .348 with 9 home runs and 16 RBIs over his last 18 games. Right up the middle, but right to the shift as he also almost takes out the pitcher Camp.
Another case where a shift cost the guy a base hit. Hey, for $16, get the Brewers Harley-Davidson double play that includes a ticket to select Brewers games and 1 admission ticket to the Harley-Davidson Museum. Visit brewers.com/8DMuseum.
Harley-Davidson motorcycle proudly displayed here at Miller Park out in left center field. Harley-Davidson deck. Beautiful day for baseball here at Miller Park. Big crowd again, more than 42,000 here. There's a good look, little sun splashing out there.
I'll take the silver one out there. Sweet. It's a good day to ride one.
Boy, it's a perfect day. There's yours, Rock. You can take it to New York.
It's nice. It's supposed to rain in New York.
That's what I heard. Brewers, part of their early batting practice decision today, which they normally don't do on Sundays, was the fact that they may not get a lot of turns outside in the cages the next couple of days because of the weather.
Yeah.
Ramirez reached on a base hit his last time up in the 4th inning. Was stranded over at third base. It was the only inning the Brewers have been able to produce a run. Came on a Taylor Green sacrifice fly that scored Braun. Ramirez swinging away on 3-1, fouls it back. So it's off to New York for 2 quick night games, and then to Houston for 2 quick night games, and then back on Friday here at Miller Park to face the Twins when interleague play begins. And Ramirez draws a walk. So another 2-out base runner for Milwaukee.
Hey fans, tickets to Spring Madness May 21st to the 23rd are half price plus small Pepsi products. And Clements hot dogs are $1 each. Some restrictions apply. Visit brewers.com/madness. Good day for some Clements sausage out on the grill for Mom.
Good day to grill out.
That's your big plan today back in
you got it.
Verona.
You got it. Going to celebrate late today, but we're going to celebrate.
Better late than never.
That's right. Corey Hart now gets a turn with Ramirez drawing the walk. He made that big catch last half inning. Got the pink wristbands on, the fight necklace. Corey snapped a 1-for-25 skid with that big 4-hit night on Friday. Corey offered, so it's 0-2. Four-hit nights don't come very often, but Corey now has 4 in his career. Boy, and he wants to put together a monster offensive night. He doesn't waste any time.
Right. He can carry on his back when he gets hot.
Outside 1-2 to Corey Hart. Mark Antanasio is up here mentioning the Brewer wives on Friday night ran into some issues, and Corey Hart's wife Christina hit that deer on the way home. He said today everything but the car is okay.
Yeah,
but that's what you want in here.
All right, you can replace a car. It's what's in it. Now you hope's all right.
Can throw you for a loop going 65 miles an hour on the interstate.
Right.
Hart fouls another one back. Garth Ordge's wife, though, Patty, took the worst. She fell off the step going up to the parking lot and broke a wrist on one hand and an elbow on the other. So she's going to need some surgery and some help while Garth is on the road this coming week over the next few days. That's a tough one. We wish her the best. Corey rips one into left field, hit pretty well. Soriano can't get to it. Ramirez on his way into third, Corey Hart into second. And the Brewers making a 2-out threat here against the reliever camp.
Yeah, able to hook a slider, and Soriano not running all that well. Remember, he got hit by a pitch yesterday. Was hobbling around. It took him a while to get down the line to get that fly ball from Corey Hart. There it is. He hooks it. Corey out in front, and right off the end of the bat, and it hooks enough to get out of the reach of Soriano. You see the way he's hobbling after it. Any kind of a misplay, and you figure Ramirez would be able to score.
Hart with 10 doubles now on the season. He rests at second. Ramirez over at third, 2 down for Taylor Green. He drove in Milwaukee's only run today with a sacrifice fly to right field. That happened back in the 4th. Green getting his 4th start at first base today for Ron Renicky. High fly ball. Is it going to drift into foul territory? It is. Hit it well into the second deck. Now straighten it out and hit a little further.
Yeah, this is the area that the Brewers have been pretty good in this series. 2-out hitting with men on base. A lot of their runs on Friday came with 2 outs.
Green down 2 strikes to Cam. hits it deep into the hole. It's short. Castro, a long throw. Save! And the Brewers score a run to tie it up as Ramirez comes in. How about the hustle from Taylor Green?
Yeah, that ball was a little bit off the end of the bat. They had the shift on. They had Castro playing up the middle. He was in short left field. And as good of arm that he has, he's still not able to get there. A little slice job out there. Good job by Castro. Plenty on it. But not enough to get Green, who goes head first into first. And a good call over there by Gary Cedarstrom. A sniffing base hit and an RBI. There's that 2-out hit you're looking for. 2 outs, nobody on. Walk, double, single. And the Brewers tie it up.
So Taylor Green safe at first with that head first slide. Conrad thinking about laying a bunt down. Takes a strike instead. Now Laher will come in to talk to Cam.
And this is the risk. You pinch hit for your pitcher in the top of the 6th inning, and your bullpen hasn't been very good, particularly the early relievers, the guys that come out of the chute early in a game. And the Brewers able to capitalize right away.
All this happening with 2 down. Ramirez drew a 2-out walk, and then Corey Hart got a double, and then Taylor Green an infield hit to drive in the tying run. 1st and 3rd, 2 down for Brooks Conrad. And he is still looking for his first hit in the big leagues this season. Oh for 9 so far. How about 1 for 10 right here?
This would be a good time for it. He's always been a very good pinch hitter throughout his career. In spots like this.
Fly ball into center field. And nearly dropped out there. A little confusion. But that one is caught by Campana. How about the hustle by Green to tie this game up? What a game summary here today. Taylor Green with a sacrifice fly in the 4th inning, scoring Ryan Braun, and the Brewers take a 1-0 lead in the ballgame. But a solo home run by Ian Stewart in the 5th quickly ties it at 1-1. And then Reed Johnson pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. Led off the 6th with a solo home run. It was 2-1 Chicago, but the Brewers just tied it right back up. Taylor Green beats out an infield single, and Aramis Ramirez scores, and that's where we sit right now, a 2-2 game as we move to the 7th inning here on Mother's Day, and Cameron Lowe gets set to take over now the mound for Milwaukee.
Yeah, 15th appearance for Cameron Lowe, a 245 earned run average, oddly enough, has not allowed a run on the road this year. He gave up that grand slam to David DeJesus on Friday.
And Lowe to face Alfonso Soriano to lead off the Chicago 7th inning. Soriano held in check so far today, 0 for 2. If you've followed along the series, this is right about where things all of a sudden break out offensively for these clubs. Every game has been low scoring and close from around the first 5, 6, maybe even 7 innings. So here we are, top of 7 in a 2-2 game. Each team with 5 hits. Aoki, good beat on the ball for the first out. Let's check out our sausage race today, and something doesn't seem right, Rock. We've got the
field's a little light.
Field's a little light. They're wearing a different T-shirt. Is somebody missing out of this group? We got the relay going now. Yesterday, the Italian not missing, that's for sure. Until oh, that's got to hurt.
But he was there.
Look at him get right back up.
The chorizo's missing. This is a big brunch day. He might end up in a breakfast burrito somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Mother's Day brunch. There's only so many big brunches out of the year.
You can have a monster brunch with the size of that chorizo.
Definitely missing, though. We weren't missing something in the camera shot. It was not there.
What was with the black wraps they had on?
I don't know.
I don't know what that was.
Ian Stewart with one down. Takes one off his foot. Yeah, I'm not sure where the pink was, actually. Or maybe it's a salmon. Was that a dark salmon color?
According to Mark.
Nothing is as pink as Ian Stewart's bat right now, that's for sure. I got to tell you, I was very surprised that you caught that early in the game.
That's what I do, I analyze things.
That doesn't fall under the I've got too much time on my hands category.
That too. That's what analyzing's all about.
Gotcha.
Coming up with minutia. Some things that some people could consider to be, interesting.
That is interesting. Aoki again. Further back to go this time, and he can't catch up to it. And it's going to be a ground rule double as this one bounces over the wall here at Miller Park. So Stewart hearing a big bat so far in this game with a double, including a home run.
Coming in at about $180. Ian Stewart having a good day. Sinker trying to get down and away. And Stewart lets it travel and goes right with it. Ball kept slicing away from Aoki in center. So a 1-out double for Chicago.
So Stewart at second with one down. Cameron Lowe, the Brewer pitcher, now faces Giovanni Soto. Soto not having the season he is accustomed to. 143. It's a right to Masonette into that shift, and Stewart holds at second base. It's time now to take a look at our Jimmy John's high-speed delivery. Samardzija at 97 and Estrada at 92 are two starters today.
And both of them threw the ball pretty well. And Marco gave up the 2 solo home runs. And Samardzija only allowed the 1 run, so he's been pretty good his last 4 times out. Somewhat of a short start for him today.
Darwin Barney now faces Cameron Lowe with 2 down. Stewart out at second base. 0 for 2 in this game. Rounded into a double play to end the Cubs' threat in the 5th inning. Miller Park has that right field panel partially closed to create that type of a shadow that keeps things better in perspective for the pitcher and the batter. Ground ball deep in the hole. Masonette, strong arm, high throw, and it gets past Green. And Stewart will hold at third.
Well, went into the seats.
And the ball did go into the seats, so Stewart is going to be able to take that extra base, and boy, that's going to be a big error right there.
That'll be an unearned run. A good job by Masonette to get there and tried to get a little bit extra on the throw and airmailed it over Taylor Green's head into the camera well, and that's going to put Barney in second base. Good pitch by Cameron Lowe. He got his ground ball. This should have ended the inning, but the throw sails on Masonette, and that'll be an error and a run in.
Well, the Cubs take a 3-2 lead. And the Brewers shortstop's been playing outstanding defense the entire game. This time, though, a little too high with the throw, and because it got away, the Cubs grabbed the lead.
That'll be a straight error on Masonette. No RBI.
Well, now the Brewers are going to go to work and try to get that back. They got to retire the Cubs first here in the 7th inning. Adrian Cardenas now will jump into the batter's box in that number 9 spot. And a stolen base to third for Barney. Two 2-0 to the Cubs pinch hitter. And Lowe can't find the strike zone. 3-0. Cardenas is a pinch hitter, 0 for 2. There's a strike from Lowe.
Yeah, it's the guy you want, the Jesus on deck. He's had a pretty good series.
Especially the later in the game it goes. He's had a good series.
Yep.
Swing and a miss, 3-2. Lowe throwing some heat. Barney over at third. He reached on an error and stole a base. Here's the 3-2. And Lowe takes care of business, but the Brewers cough up a run. And now trail Chicago midway through the 7th inning here, 3-2 in our Sunday tradition in baseball here on this Mother's Day. God bless America. What was that all about? It's kind of strange, kind of what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Different.
Stay tuned.
I guess. Let's check out our Twitter account and see what's going on at FS Wisconsin. Rock, is that a real bow tie or a clip tie?
Come on. Clip?
I didn't ask the question. I'm repeating it.
It's real. I wouldn't be wearing a clip tie.
You're the best bow tire that I know. And how about this? Following the game from Norway, feels like I'm the only Norwegian who watches baseball. Go Brewers. I like it.
Nice.
That is a long ways away.
I like it.
Follow us on Twitter at FS Wisconsin. James Russell now in to work the Cubs against the Brewers here in the 7th inning.
Well, he's off to a good start. Sub-1 earned run average for Russell, the only lefty in the bullpen for the Cubs. You figure it's going to be Russell, then they go to Marmol, and then Dolis, the closer.
Edwin Masonette, who made the error last half inning that allowed the Cubs to grab the lead. And that almost seems unfair considering how well he's played defensively in this game. This could be trouble in the right field corner, but a nice catch out there by DeJesus.
Hey, it might be just May, but it's time to ramp up and vote Brewers this season. 8 Brewer players are featured on the All-Star ballot. The game is in Kansas City this year. Right now, fans are able to vote online at Brewers.com. All fans voting 21 or more times will be entered to win Ryan Braun's Miller Park Suite for a night. Log on to Brewers.com and cast your vote now.
Here's Cesar Torres pinch hitting in the pitcher spot. As a pinch hitter this year, he is 1 for 6. Of course, expected to get most of the bulk at shortstop with Gonzalez out, and has so far until today when Masonette made the start at short.
Torres missed just about the entire year last year and played a little bit, but you throw him in there. He's been on the bench the first 6 weeks, and all of a sudden you throw him in there every day. Needs a day off once in a while.
And this one mishandled and into right field as Torres, big turn, I should say, in the left field, and he'll hold at first. So a defensive miscue by the Cubs over there.
Yep, off the end of the bat of Ian Stewart. That might be an error. He's playing even with the bag off his glove, and Castro couldn't play the deflection. I figure that's an error. Well, we'll see.
Stewart's shaking his head. He knows he should have made that play. The Brewers will take it. A runner at first with 1 down, trailing by a run to Chicago here in the 7th. Aoki thought about bunting.
That will be an error on Ian Stewart.
Wendy's at the plate for Aoki. A single, a triple, and a walk, so he's had a very productive day.
It's very fundamentally sound when you talk about Aoki. Been involved in a lot of squeeze plays, including yesterday. The Brewers with 7 squeezes this year. Aoki's been involved in a couple of them.
And Aoki's going to work that count, of course.
Tough guy to defend. They play him about as straight up as you'll see any defense against any hitter, but they're playing very shallow in center and left.
Lefty versus lefty. Russell against Aoki. And they've got his Torres picked off, and the ball gets past the hair. As Torres turns and goes to third. Another defensive miscue by the Cubs here in this inning.
I don't know. I wasn't quite sure, but I think LaHair was shocked that he threw over. He picked off his first baseman, I think. Not sure why, because these Torres took off. Check it out. He takes off. He picks him off and just missed it. He just flat missed it, and his Torres able to get to third base right off the heel of the glove. I think he was thinking about the throw. before he had it in the glove.
Well, the Brewers have to take advantage here. 2 errors have put Torres at third base with 1 down. Aoki lines one foul. Two errors in the inning.
They're in for Aoki. Infield's in, outfield's in, everybody in except for DeJesus and Wright.
And the 1-2 is low, 2-2. Brewer center fielder with a single, a triple, and a walk. Yet he has not scored in this game. Done his job at the top of the order for Ron Roenicke today. He was thrown out trying to steal back in the 5th inning. Soft grounder. And an easy throw will get Torres at the plate with that infield playing up. Torres running on contact. And the Brewers' chances to tie this game take a tumble right there.
Well, you take a big risk bringing that infield in, but Aoki a 2-hopper right at Barney, and it's an easy out at home. As you mentioned, the contact play on. Barney with a good throw, and Torres never made home plate. Blocked off.
Rock, you're hoping in that situation, bang bang situation, you can get in maybe an errant throw.
Well, the only thing you're hoping is that you don't hit it right at somebody, and that's what happened. Hey, you move Barney, any of the infielders, maybe a couple of steps, and it's going to be a tough play. But you hit it right at one of those infielders, and you get thrown out by plenty. But you can't determine that. If the contact play's on, you're going. I mean, you're not waiting to see where the ball is. You read it on the ground, you take off, and you just hope it's not right at somebody.
So a tough break for Ron Roenicke and Jerry Narron as they continue to converse, as they do each and every game. The Brewer manager and his bench coach. Now Jonathan Lucroy. Brewers going to need maybe an extra base hit to bring home Aoki. Luke in this game 0 for 3. Came into the game with a 9-game hitting streak. And it's 3-0 now to the Brewer catcher.
Well, you don't figure Lucroy to be swinging on 3-0. What you want to have happen is you bring up Ryan Braun, that guy right there. You hope to get an opportunity with 2 outs to have Brian hit one out of here.
Luke had the green light,
but maybe not.
How about that?
The way he's been swinging the bat, right? Fastball right down the middle, and Luke had a good cut.
Check on Aoki again at first. Fly ball to right field. And the Cubs are going to escape a Brewer threat with DeJesus on the catch. It's 3-2 Chicago. for the Brewers. And we go to the top of the 8th with the Cubbies leading 3-2 over Milwaukee. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Tomorrow, the Brewers embark on a 4-game road trip and a 2-city stop. It's New York tomorrow night with our coverage beginning at 5:30. And then again on Tuesday from the Big Apple. And then Wednesday and Thursday, the Brewers go to Houston. And Manny Parra makes his 14th appearance of the season, now on the mound for the Brewers.
Yeah, Manny's been throwing the baseball very well. His 14th appearance and a .220 earned run average for the one and only Brewers left-hander in the bullpen. Tossed 2 scoreless innings in that extra inning game on Friday against the Cubs. Walked a couple of batters and struck out 3 in that appearance. Has not allowed a run in his last 7 appearances.
That was a nice outing in the extra inning game by Manny Parra. A definite confidence builder.
Yeah, he's been throwing the baseball well. He really has. He's throwing strikes. He's got good velocity. His splitter has been very good. And more importantly, getting ahead in the count.
Parra will face David DeJesus. 1 for 3 in this game. He had a single back in the 4th inning.
Cubs currently have, it looks like, Kerry Wood up in the bullpen. Carlos Marmol is on the disabled list. I think I mentioned Marmol last inning as being part of the late inning plans for the Cubs. There's Wood. Marmol strained a hamstring on Friday night.
Well, you could tell something wasn't up with Marmol the other night. And, of course, Kerry Wood didn't fare well, although he's warming up in the bullpen right now. One and 1-2 to DeJesus. Inside 2-1. Well, a lot of ACL injuries, Rock. The latest, Wilson Ramos, the catcher for the Nationals, looks like he's going to be lost for the year as well.
Yeah, there's something else, isn't it?
3 letters these guys don't want to be hearing anymore, and it's only mid-May. A lot of teams affected by season-ending injuries via the ACL.
Well, injuries are always a part of, you know, who's going to be in contention. The team that normally is going to stay the most healthy is going to be there at the end. That's why the Brewers were able to do what they did. They still stayed relatively healthy, except for, of course, the beginning of the year last year when they had 3 guys on the DL. They came back and everything seemed to be all right after that.
It's been the biggest difference, I guess, if you look at records now back to a year ago at this time and say they're similar. The Brewers were definitely getting healthier a year ago at this time. Now they have to hold it together and see where they take it. They lose Gonzalez and Gamble to the ACL. This one hit hard. Corey Hart makes the catch. There's been some outstanding defense today. Our Pizza Hut delivery. Masonette at shortstop, starting a nice 6-3 double play.
Yeah, that saved the run, and this saved the run as well. Corey Hart out in right center, taking away extra bases. There's a man at first. Tony Campana would have scored on that. Unfortunately, all the good defense, and the difference in the game is an error. So some bad defense has cost the Brewers the lead at this point.
And the Brewers played up Ramirez in the corner, and Campana slapped him right past him into left field and will be held to a single. Thought about stretching it out into a double, but he'll hold it first.
Well, both of the hits for Campana, you know, the result of Aramis Ramirez playing as shallow as he is because of the bunt. He bunted last time, still able to beat it. This time slices one right by him because he's about 50 feet away, 45 feet.
Can't win for losing with Campana at the plate right now, the last 2 appearances. That's how Ramirez has to feel. 1 down for Starlin Castro. Timeout call by Castro. Manny just about ready to wind up and throw. Earlier in the game, David DeJesus was taking his time going into the batter's box, and Marco Estrada was getting ready to wind up and throw. That caused a disturbance. Cardinals also activated Lance Berkman from the DL today.
That took a while to come back.
Sure did.
It did. It really did. I think the Cardinals surprised it took so long.
Campana on the run. Castro puts it in play. Is Torres. And there are 2 down with Campana moving up to second base. Cardinals on the verge of getting swept in St. Louis. They trail 3-1 in their game to the Braves. Braves helping out the Brewers here as they've won the last 2, staying within range. Milwaukee had fallen 7 games off the pace. 5 out entering today's play.
And the Braves have won more games on the road than any team in baseball. They're coming in at 13-8.
Impressive.
I'm telling you. They're in second place behind Washington. By only half a game before action today.
They lead that one 3-1 in the 7th inning in St. Louis. Manny Parra trying to keep the Cubs in check here. Campana out at second base with 2 down. Brian LaHare the batter. Campana goes, and no throw from LaCroix. It's the second time the Cubs have stolen third base in consecutive innings.
Now with 2 outs, you better make it. You better make it easily with a home run hitter up.
Darwin Barney did it last inning. He was stranded at third, and Manny Parra wants to do the same here. The time called again, and now this time Lucroy and Parra will connect. Campana with his 8th stolen base, by the way, as he sits over at third base. Good stop by Lucroy with Campana just 90 feet away.
Not sure how careful you want to be with this guy with Soriano on deck. You got lefty versus lefty here. But here doesn't have that many at bats against lefties. Getting more lately. 2 for 15 against left-handed pitching so far. That's a 133 batting average. Really being very careful with him too.
3-0 the count. And LaHare a ball away from extending his reaching base safely streak to 30. It's at 29 right now. He's 0 for 3 in this game. And there it is. Ball 4.
I'm not quite sure why you want to be so careful with this guy to bring up Soriano.
First and third now for Soriano, a 243 hitter. 0 for 3 today. Kind of surprised to see a big 0 for home runs so far by Soriano. Talked about the power that we've seen from various players this season, and this one gets past Lucroy, and Campan is going to score. So the Cubs now grab a 2-run lead here in the 8th inning.
Another off-speed pitch by Manny. I think it might have been the split-fingered fastball. Lucroy not able to get in front of it all the way to the screen, and that moves LaHair into scoring position at second base. So back-to-back innings, defense has let down the Brewers, and they're down by 2.
Aoki on the run, and this one bounces over his head onto the wall. Another run comes in. LaHair scores, and Soriano stands at second with an RBI double, and the Cubs now lead it 5-2.
Yeah, that's why I just didn't understand that sequence to LaHair. You got Manny Parr, the left-hander, LaHair hitting 155, and it seemed as though they were pitching around him, and you bring up Soriano, the right-hander, and he hammers one into center field, and now the Brewers down by 3. That's a head-scratcher. That at bat to LaHair.
Manny Parr trying to stop the bleeding right here against Ian Stewart, who's had quite a day himself, as LaCroix again can't handle that pitch from Parra, and Soriano moves up. Cubs are turning a close game into a bigger gap here as they build a 5-2 lead. To second, Conrad ends the inning, but the Cubs get a couple of more here and build their lead now to 5-2. But Braun, Ramirez, and Hart are ready to come up for Milwaukee in their half of the 8th.
In the bottom of the 8th inning, this Brewers Cup Series on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Burger King. As Jerry Augustine, Telly Hughes, welcome you back as we get you set for Brewers Live post game. But Jerry, right now the Brewers have the 3 in the order they want up, down 3.
Well, they've had some success against the Chicago bullpen. So right now you got the middle of that order up. Hopefully they've had with that success they can battle back this inning.
Yeah, hopefully Braun can get things going, followed by Ramirez and Hart. And coming up after the game, game. Once again, Brewers Live post-game. We'll have full reaction from the Brewers clubhouse, and we'll have our on-field instructional. And it's Jerry talking about different grips and pitches, and you don't want to miss that because you get an opportunity to see how guys throw different pitches. So that's coming up after the game. Craig and Bill, back up to you.
All right, Telly and Jerry, looking forward to that. Joe Mather takes over in left field now for Alfonso Soriano as we get into the late innings. And a 5-2 Chicago lead right now. Kerry Wood set to make his 8th appearance for Chicago against the Brewers here. And it's getting late for Milwaukee. They gave up a couple of big important runs there.
Yeah, you see the numbers not very good for Kerry Wood. He's spent some time on the disabled list. Pitched 2 innings scoreless in that game on Friday night.
He's got the meat of the order coming up. Ryan Braun set to lead off. We'll also see Ramirez and Hart here in the Brewer 8th. First pitch, a strike from Kerry Wood to Ryan Braun. Ryan drew a walk back in the 4th and scored the Brewers' first run. Otherwise, quiet offensively.
Yeah, big fastball by Kerry Wood at 95. I didn't think he had that in him.
Got to be some left in the arm for that one.
Yes, indeed. Well, we saw him come in on Friday throwing a lot of cutters. I mean, a lot of cut fastballs, and that's always going to knock down some velocity. So he's coming in here today throwing a 4-seamer.
Braun up the middle. Castro, the shortstop, and Braun beats it out. Bad Achilles at all. It was hit softly enough to give himself a chance. And a leadoff runner here in the 8th for Milwaukee.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. You saw Darwin Barney, he got there, but just kind of let it go. Because even had he been able to get in the glove, he couldn't have gotten anything on the throw. And went right under his glove, right between his legs, and Castro ended up getting it. So a couple of big fastballs got ahead of count for Ryan Braun, and then he threw a curveball. Ryan able to get a piece of it. Check this out. Just lets it go, and Castro just not able to get him. That was a funny looking play.
That brings up Aramis Ramirez with Braun over at first. Ramirez has yet to hit a home run on this homestand. This would be an opportune time. Braun on the move. And he'll easily steal the base. Ryan Braun now with his 5th stolen base on the season, and everything seems to be working pretty good in those legs.
I'll tell you what, forget about that Achilles. He takes off first pitch. Soto's got a good arm, but I think because of the big jump, Wood takes a while to get rid of it. Soto just threw it, without really getting in position.
See if Ryan Braun can inflect a little juice into his team here. Get him sparked up and going. (3-0) now to the Brewer cleanup hitter Ramirez. Brewers were not able to take advantage of 2 errors in the last inning committed by Chicago. Came up empty. There's a strike in the outside corner. Pop-up, shallow right field, and DeJesus waits and makes the catch. And Ryan Braun, plate coverage, one more look.
You can see Ryan Braun. I mean, he has the ability to get base hits when he really doesn't, get a strike. And you can see all these shots, different locations, up and in, down and away, all over the strike zone. And Ryan Braun, certainly has the ability not only to recognize where these pitches are going to end up and make adjustments within his swing to be able to get the big part of the bat on him. Not many can do that.
There's Corey Hart, takes a first pitch strike. Corey Hart doubled back in the 6th inning, stranded over at third. The Brewers were able to tie the game with their 2nd run back in that frame. As Wood chases Braun back to the bag at 2nd. Both Brewer RBIs to Taylor Green, who sits in the on-deck circle. And another strike to Hart. Fly ball right field to Jesus. And Braun's going to tag and move to third. So 2 down, and Braun over at third base. Well, our Twitter overseas sparked a bit here. They're watching the game on the iPad from Germany. We'd like to see that. How about in Scotland as well?
Wow.
We like it.
You bring them in from all over the globe, don't you?
Not too bad. Hello from England and the UK as well. Here's Taylor Green. I love the new age rabbit ears, man. You can pull in our signal from anywhere.
Amazing, isn't it? The internet.
They can watch and talk to us at the same time.
Scary.
It is. Taylor Green has been Mr. Brewer offense in this game. A sacrifice fly and an RBI. And then Green a single, an infield hit. A lot of hustle brought in the Brewers' 2nd run. It went deep into the hole. It's short. Can he deliver again with Ryan Braun sitting at third and 2 down? Green stays alive.
How about 96 for Kerry Wood? He used to throw 96 and 98 as a starter when he was a young kid back in the old days. He's had surgeries, a number of injuries. And he can still get it up there pretty good.
Very impressive. Here's the 1-2. Green gets just enough of that baseball for at least one more pitch. Getting late for Milwaukee. Big runner sitting at third base. Let's see if Green's got the clutch hit in him one more time here in this game. You hate to leave Braun over at third base and go into the 9th trailing by 3. High 2-2.
Yeah, especially when you have a man at second with nobody out and you're 4 and 5 hitters up.
Inside to Taylor Green. Good battle at the plate between Green and Wood. Braun waits at third. And again, Green stays alive. Green with his 4th start over at first base today. We talked about Masonette's glove over at shortstop earlier in this game to complete one of the double plays. Green made a nice scoop over at first.
Ron Rennigan just trying to find somebody over there at first base that's going to stay hot. Ishikawa's had some good games, some good at-bats. Probably the best all-around defender. Green's had an opportunity. Conrad.
Green to LaHare. And he'll take care of business on his own. And the Brewers, with a runner at second and nobody out, can't score here in the 8th against Wood. Happy Mother's Day from Miller Park. Mark Kincannon on the sideline, along with Bill Schroeder. I'm Craig Gashan. The Brewers and Cubs close out their 3-game series here this afternoon, and the Cubbies lead Milwaukee 5-2 as we go to the top of the 9th inning. But first, our Ho Chunk Gaming text the broadcast. This is from Cave from Waukesha. Do the Brewers starting pitchers gain confidence as others pitch well of late?
I don't know if it's so much confidence, but I think it's more or less the competition within that starting rotation that as they continue to have success, you know, they don't want to be the guy to go out there and lay an egg. They want to continue the success of the starting rotation. You got to figure that, you know, Marco Estrada certainly did that today. I mean, he pitched well enough to win. He gave up a couple of solo shots, but you know, for the most part, I think he did the starting rotation well today.
6 innings and 2 earned runs on 5 hits for Estrada. That's his line today. As this one by Soto ripped down the right field line in foul territory.
Vinny Cholk, you know, takes over here in the top of the 9th inning. You know, on Friday he earned his first major league win since August of 2007. He pitched 2 scoreless innings. Pretty good job. That last line of defense pretty much out in that bullpen for Ron Rennigan. He was the last reliever used, although they did have Marco Estrada ready on Friday night.
A full all hands on deck type of game when you go 13 innings and you know you have a noon start the next day.
Right. Which makes the start by Sean Markham that much more impressive. I mean, he had to go out there and pitch well and pitch deep into the game.
Soto shallow right. Green long way out and can't get there. Ball falls in. Soto into second base with a double. Tough one to give up for Cholk. It was in no man's land right down the right field line.
Yeah, ordinarily that's going to be a ball the second baseman has the best shot at, but they had the shift on. And Brooks Conrad was playing just about over second base. There he is right here. There's no way he's going to be able to get down the line. That conventional defense, he would have been there. That's tough play for a first baseman. Over the shoulder, you really can't see the baseball as you get out to right field. So Giovanni Soto ends up beating the shift.
And right away, hitting the first pitch down the right field line fair is going to bring a run home, and Darwin Barney. Consecutive doubles by the Cubs, and they extend their lead now to 6-2. Went out and grabbed that first pitch and lined it right into the same spot that Soto's ball landed.
Yeah, the fake button slash. You can see Barney pull the bat back, does exactly what you have to do, and slices it right down the line. And Giovanni Soto able to score the 6th run for Chicago. So as you were talking about earlier, I mean, the games have been pretty low scoring and close early, and one team or another seems to be able to tack on some runs late. That's happened this entire series.
And Chicago now doing the trick here in game 3 of this series, trying to win their first game here in Milwaukee in the last 11 tries in a row. Brewers have dominated this series. This one to Braun. He comes in, makes a nice running catch. And that's the first out here in the 9th. Joe Mather goes down. Yeah, the Brewers have won 10 consecutive games here at Miller Park against the Cubs. Now Vinny Choke goes to work with one down. Top of the order now, David DeJesus. It's interesting, you know, going back to that game on Friday, had Hart not won the game in the 13th, the pitcher spot was due up next. And if they played 14 innings, Gallardo would have gone to left, Braun to short, Masonette to second, and you mentioned it, Estrada would have ended up pitching yesterday.
Now that would be interesting.
Or I should say on Friday.
Is that a lot more interesting than recognizing that the pink bats are darker this year?
No, I think the pink bats rate.
Although
this is repeated strategy.
Although I would have liked to have seen that last on Friday.
5 hours and 4 minutes wasn't enough.
See, that's the big difference between a National League game and the American League game. You know, I don't know what year it was, but the Brewers were in Anaheim playing the Angels. They played 17 innings. And Mike Scioscia did not use one bench player.
That's unbelievable.
Not one.
Yeah.
They had all kinds of guys left. But not in the National League. You just can't do that in the National League, which makes it much more intriguing as you get into extra innings.
Yeah, they sent Sean Markham home early to get proper rest for that noon start on Saturday. Otherwise, everyone would have played had they gone one more inning. Even Greinke got an at-bat as a pinch hitter. Another solid base hit against Vinny Choke, and they'll hold the runner at third. First and third, one down. DeJesus with his second hit of the game.
Well, Vinny, this time out, unlike that appearance on Friday, getting a lot of the play with his fastball, and the Cubs are getting some pretty good swings.
Center fielder, Tony Campana.
Here's Campana.
Not sure why Campana's up there faking bunts.
Campana reached on a bunt back in the 6th. Singled in the 8th and scored. And another strike to Campana. Choke ahead 0-2. Runners in the corner. One down. And Lucroy getting a workout today, especially late innings here.
Breaking ball ends up down in the dirt, and I think Luke actually blocked that one with his knees. Glove came up a little bit, but he was able to keep it in front of him.
Runner goes, and another base hit into right field. Another run comes in for Chicago. It is now 7-2 as Campana delivers. And to Jesus over at third.
Another 0-2 pitch. That one supposed to be away, ended up down and in, and Campana just has to drop the head of the bat on it, and he's got hits in his last 3 appearances. Started out 0 for 2, ends up 3 for 5.
Now Castro, and he swings at the first pitch, a single into left field. Another run in for Chicago. They're hitting Vinny Choke early and hard right now.
First pitch breaking ball, and that one hung up there, didn't do much. See Lucroy on the outside corner, that ends up on the inner half of the plate, and fastballs, sliders, it really doesn't matter. First pitch, Starlin Castro is going to take a whack at it.
8-2, Cubs lead the Brewers, and there's still only one out here in the 9th inning. 3 runs are in against the Brewer reliever, who won his first major league game since the 2007 season on Friday night. This game can be humbling sometimes, can it?
Yes, it can, especially this is a 3-2 game going into the 8th inning.
Tim Dillard getting warmed up in that Brewer bullpen. Ryan LaHare. And LaHare reached base his last time up on a walk, which extended his streak to 30 games, reaching base safely.
That was really the at-bat of the game for me. I mean, Manny Parra out there in the 8th inning. He had 2 outs. It was a 3-2 game, and Manny very careful with LaHare, the left-hander. Ended up walking him on a number of off-speed pitches, and then Alfonso Soriano came up and hit a ringing double into center field. They were very careful with LaHare, which was somewhat surprising given his success against lefties.
A 4-pitch walk,
or lack thereof, actually. Since that walk, things have not gone very well for Milwaukee.
Cubs scored 2 in the 8th, and so far 3 here in the 9th to bust this game open. And LaHare strikes out. So 2 down here in the 9th inning. That was a turning point, Rock, and then back in the 7th inning, in a 1-run game, the Brewers couldn't take advantage of 2 Chicago errors in that frame either to score a single run. Now Jeff Baker. He pinch hits in the number 5 spot in the Cubs order. Alfonso Soriano began the game there and played left field and was replaced defensively. Both these teams will play 2 consecutive 2-game series. Chicago goes to St. Louis to play the Cardinals Monday and Tuesday, then home to play Philadelphia Wednesday and Thursday, and then they begin interleague play against their intercity rival Chicago White Sox this weekend. The Brewers, of course, come back to Miller Park next weekend to host the Twins.
That's going to be a wild weekend in Wrigley Field.
Absolutely.
Cubs, White Sox.
2 franchises with 2 new managers looking to turn things around. How long is rebuilding in the city of Chicago? I guess that's the ultimate question. Well, Dale's done a nice job with the Cubs here so far, but you wonder how long that grace period is really going to be. How far into next season will it extend?
Yeah, well.
What kind of changes will this team make?
Well, Theo Epstein, Jed Hoyer, Dale Swaim. Dale's got a 3-year contract. Yeah, that American League Central Division is an interesting one. You remember the great start the Detroit Tigers were able to get off to.
Big start.
You know, they were 16-17 coming in today. The only team over 500 in that entire division, the Cleveland Indians at 18-15. Minnesota Twins are 9-24.
And you would think they'd be into a double-digit deficit games back, but they're 9 games back. Runners on the move. The 3-2 pitch foul back. The team that started hot and stayed hot in baseball has really been the Dodgers, coming into today's action with a 22-11 record. New York was hoping to get a boost today from a pitcher from the past, but Andy Pettit made his first start since coming out of retirement today and lost to the Mariners.
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
And he's back with the Yankees. Actually, the Twins won today, so they won their 10th game. Baltimore got beat by the Rays.
Long top of the 9th inning for Vinny Choate. Continues to work a 3-2 count to Jeff Baker, the pinch hitter. And again, Baker stays alive, and that one bounced off the backstop and raked back at Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire, and Jonathan LaCroix. Startled them both.
No protection back there. All the protection's in the front.
In the front.
Where it should be.
And Choate loses Baker. So the base is now loaded. And Chicago continues to bat here in the 9th inning. They've already scored 3 runs and extended their lead to 8-2.
I got some additional information on that 17-inning game against the Angels in Anaheim. That was back in '04. I didn't think it was that long ago. Brewers won 1-0 in 17 innings.
And what was the time on that game?
I don't know the time.
You didn't think it was 5:04.
It went like quick, like that.
1-0 game. You would think.
Scott Pasednik drove in Craig Counsell with a 2-out double in the top of the 17th.
And that was 04, you said.
04.
What, a day or two ago, Pasednik signed with the Red Sox. Here's Ian Stewart, who's 2 for 4 in this game. Stewart had his 4th home run back in the 5th inning. That tied the game at 1-1. Cubs had taken a 2-1 lead in the 6th on another solo home run by Johnson, and the Brewers were able to tie it up. This game was 2-2 going into the 7th inning. And it's 8-2 Chicago right now. Vinny Choke with 30 pitches here in the 9th inning. Looking for the magic third out pitch. He's ahead of ball and 2 strikes on Ian Stewart. And there it is, finally for Vinny Choke. Damage ends at 3 runs. Brewers a lot of work to do heading into the bottom of the 9th. Good family day here. 8-2 Cubs lead the Brewers in the bottom of the 9th inning. Let's take a look at our Wisconsin Lottery Powerball home run leaderboard. Ryan Braun at the top of the charts. He's got 10 for the Brewers. No home runs today by Milwaukee against Chicago. Let's take a look at our Marshfield Clinic shining moment. It's Nori Aoki, and a big day at the plate for the Brewers center fielder in the leadoff role with 2 base hits, including a walk.
And Aoki doing exactly what he does. He's a tough out up there at the plate. He shoots the ball all over the diamond. Very fundamentally sound. I guess you'd have to be all those years over in Japan, having the success that he had, and that continues to be an asset for Ron Renicky.
Michael Bowden now on the mound for the Chicago Cubs, making his 5th appearance out of the bullpen. And he has a 6-run cushion against Milwaukee. It's going to be Conrad and Morgan, and as Torres scheduled to bat here in the bottom half of the 9th inning for the Brewers. Brooks Conrad still looking for his first hit this season.
And it was Bowden that gave up the home run to Corey Hart to tie the game in the 9th on Friday.
Well, the Brewers were down 2 runs at that point. They're down 6 in this game, so see what they can piece together. Looks like a routine fly ball to left field, and there's your first out here in the 9th inning. So now Nyjer Morgan will bring those pink shoes and the wristbands up to the batter's box as a pinch hitter. Had his first extra base hit of the season in yesterday's game as a pinch hitter 0 for 6. There's the look with the shoes. First pitch a strike to Nyjer Morgan.
Now those are sweet. Now, you know, Pat Listas, the Cubs' first third base coach, he's wearing those pink cleats.
I haven't seen a lot of ball players wearing those.
I mean, those are the only 2 in the game, right? I haven't noticed anybody else.
I haven't either. Another strike to Morgan.
They are sweet.
That is Tony Plush written all over it right there.
I could see Ron Santo wearing something like that back in the old days with the Cubs. How the game has changed, huh?
These guys like wearing this stuff too. They really do. I talked to Niger before the game. He had the pink back going. He enjoys it.
It's a good cause. I mean, yeah. I mean,
said this is what it's all about. It's for the moms today. Breast cancer awareness.
You sign them and auction them off. The Brewers Community Foundation. You betcha.
After falling behind 2 strikes, now it's 2-2 to Niger Morgan. Five for 15 on the homestand for .333. Those are the numbers that Niger Morgan wants to start putting up. Get on base and score for the big boppers behind him. So more of that on this homestand. It has been a struggle in the 1 and 2 spots for Milwaukee all season long. They've already lost Ricky Weeks for the last couple of games. They hope to have him back maybe as soon as tomorrow, but he got plunked on that left hand, the top of that left hand on Friday. And that swelling starting to go down a little bit. And Morgan's going to reach base. Barney can't make the play. And it's going to be an infield hit for Niger Morgan. So maybe that's the start with 1 down.
Looked like he was running a little bit fast with those pink shoes. Those are some running shoes for Niger. That would have been a tough play for Barney, coming in hot, just not able to make the transfer out of the glove, and that'll be a base hit.
Here's Torres, who came in the 7th inning as a pinch hitter and reached on an error. Stayed in the game the rest of the way to play short. Masonette got the start at short today and made a couple of nice plays defensively, but then had an error that led to a run for Chicago. As Torres hits it high, shallow left, and the center fielder Campana makes the play. So 2 down here in the Brewer 9th. Morgan back to first. And it's going to be top of the order now, Inori Aoki. Carlos Gomez, by the way, is going to join Class A Wisconsin for the next few days. Work out with them while they are on the road on Monday and Tuesday, and then playing their game on Wednesdays. He gets closer to returning from the disabled list. Pulled that hamstring while the Brewers were on the road last Friday night in San Francisco. Get him loose and healthy again, and that'll be another asset for Milwaukee here by the end of the week. Aoki with a single and a triple in today's game. Also drew a walk. Hit pretty hard center field. Campana going back onto the warning track and makes the catch. And that'll do it in game 3 here on Sunday. It goes to the Chicago Cubs. 8-2 the final score. Plenty more on game 3 coming up as we send it out to Telly Hughes getting ready for Brewers Live. Telly?
That's right, Craig. Thanks. Coming up on Brewers Live, we'll check in and look at how the Brewers failed to complete the sweep. We'll have an on-field instructional. Ron Renicky. We'll hear from the Brewers skipper. We'll go inside the clubhouse, and we'll preview the Mets series coming up on Brewers Live.